11 shooting victims in a week. 3 of those people were killed. We've already seen more homicides in the city this year compared to all of last year, and shootings are also on pace to surpass last year's numbers. Good evening. I'm Kim Chapman.
And I'm Calvin Sneed. All of this in the same year, Chattanooga Mayor Andy Berke launches his violence reduction initiative. Tonight, News Channel 9's Josh Rowe talks to Mayor Berke about how long it will take for the violence to be reduced. Josh?
Kim and Calvin, the VRI, or Violence Reduction Initiative, was officially launched on March 20th of this year, a little more than 7 months ago. And after an extremely violent week, many families and others in Chattanooga are looking for answers. Multiple shootings over just a few short days.
Anytime you have a horrible week, I question what's going on. I expect people in Chattanooga to question it.
Mayor Andy Berke's Violence Reduction Initiative, or VRI, has gotten a lot of attention over the last several months. The goal of VRI is clear: reduce violence in our city. The VRI is not designed to reduce all violence, just one specific type of violence.
VRI is only related to group-related shooting. So it's basically when one gang gets into a beef with another.
Mayor Berke uses the word group and gang interchangeably, but he uses the word group more. Chattanooga police said yesterday in a news conference the reduction in violence is not what the city expected or what other cities using a similar initiative have seen in the past. Of the 7 shootings since Monday of last week, we know some are tied to gang violence, some are not. Under VRI, city leaders, police, and community members invite some gang or group members to a closed meeting and give them a chance to get out of trouble. But if they choose to continue to commit violent crimes, they face longer sentences. Mayor Berke explains this has been a complicated process. Determining who is in which gang has been time-consuming, and that is just one challenge.
So you have different groups inside the groups, which is why it's so difficult, to say the word gangs. It's like, okay, well, everybody's just the same. Even inside some of these groups, they have internal problems and they beef with each other, and we have situations where they shoot each other inside the group. And so it's a very complicated, difficult problem.
Chattanooga police say they've counted 42 different gangs or groups operating in Chattanooga right now. We asked Mayor Berke for a specific example of how VRI has directly led to fewer shootings.
This was a very large group, and we told them they had been committing violent acts in an incredible number. In the time after that, we essentially saw no violent acts by them for many weeks, all right? And so that is a testament to what we're doing. But this week we saw some other groups were active, and now we've got to go repeat that message and go after these groups and make sure that we make good on what we said, which is if you if you kill someone, if you're the most violent group, we're coming after you.
Chattanooga police say they are in constant talks with the people at John Jay University, the people who developed this initiative. One way they plan to tweak and expand the VRIs by looking at offenders who are not in gangs. Mayor Berke also noted as far as crime not addressed in VRI, there are now more police officers on the street now than ever before. Kim and Calvin, according to CPD, most cities see early on a 20% decrease in this kind of violent crime, and we're just not seeing that right now.
Josh, the Violence Reduction Initiative is used in gangs, but
right.
how do you target someone who is not in a gang?
That's a great question. We really haven't got a great answer about that right now, because the way it's set up, you go after one person in a gang and you say, okay, when you mess up, the entire group is in trouble. But when you're just dealing with an individual, I'm not exactly sure how you expand that out, because if you're not tied to other people, I don't know where that VRI umbrella really addresses that issue. So it's a question we have to take to city leaders and get good answers on, for sure.
It's an interesting question.
It is.
It needs an answer.
All right, Josh, thank you so much.